4 centuries ago, in the vast Ottoman Empire, battles were fought not only on the fields of war, but also inside the hearts of young men. This is the story of one such young man, Suleiman, whose greatest enemy was not another soldier, but his own mind. In a quiet Anatolian village in the late 1500s lived 18-year-old Suleiman. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and well-trained in swordsmanship and horsemanship. His teachers often said, if strength alone made a warrior, Suleiman would already be a commander. But Suleiman carried an invisible burden, his constant overthinking. When sparring, instead of focusing on his opponent's movements, his mind raced with fears. What if I strike too late? What if I embarrass myself? What if I fail my family's honor? His body was strong, but his thoughts shackled him. This struggle had roots in his childhood. His mother had passed away when he was still a boy, and since then, his father, Yusuf, had raised him alone. Yusuf loved his son, but he lived in constant worry about the future. Night after night, Suleiman would see his father pacing the house, whispering prayers, warning him, "My son, life is full of hardship. Always prepare for the worst. Expect disasters before they come." Though intended as protection, these words grew inside Suleiman like seeds of anxiety. His father's fears became his own. One afternoon, after a heated argument with his father, Suleiman entered training with anger in his heart. His mind was clouded with guilt, pain, and frustration. When sparring began, instead of discipline, he unleashed his rage. His strikes were wild, his movements uncontrolled. His opponent stumbled back, not from skill, but from Suleiman's furious outburst. The instructors intervened immediately. One scolded him harshly. "Suleiman, you seek to master the sword, yet you cannot master your own anger? A warrior who loses his temper is more dangerous to himself than to his enemy." Ashamed, Suleiman lowered his gaze. Before he could respond, an elderly figure stepped forward. His presence brought silence to the field. It was Shaykh Abdul Rahman, a revered scholar of the village, known for teaching the Quran and guiding hearts. With a calm but firm voice, he said, "Let him come with me. His struggle is not with his hands, but with his heart." The next morning, the Sheikh took Suleiman to a quiet stream outside the village. The sound of running water was soothing, a stark contrast to the storm inside Suleiman's chest. The Sheikh handed him a wooden bowl. "Fill this with water and bring it back to me," he instructed. Suleiman obeyed, filling the bowl carefully and returning. He waited, unsure what lesson this simple task could hold. The Sheikh asked, "Tell me, my son, what do you notice about this water?" Suleiman frowned, confused. "It fills the bowl, but outside the stream, it loses its place. In the stream, it flows freely, but in the bowl, it is still." The Sheikh nodded with a smile. "Just like this water, your thoughts were created to flow. When they remain within the stream of trust in Allah, they are pure and beneficial. But when you trap them, when you try to control every outcome, they become heavy, stagnant, and burdensome. You are drowning in thoughts that were never yours to control." Then he recited the verse from the Quran, "And whoever relies upon Allah, He is sufficient for him." Surah At-Talaq 65:3. He looked into Suleiman's eyes and continued, "Your overthinking is not strength. It is a whisper from Shaitan, making you believe that worry will change your destiny. But your destiny is already written by Allah, the All-Wise. Your task is not to control the unseen. It is to trust the one who controls all things." From that day, Suleiman began visiting the stream every morning. He would sit by the water, close his eyes, and remember the names of Allah: Ar-Razak, the Provider; Al-Qadir, the All-Powerful; Al-Latif, the gentle and subtle. He breathed deeply, repeating to himself, Allah is in control. My duty is to act, not to worry. Day by day, his heart grew lighter. His sword became steadier, not because his muscles grew stronger, but because his mind was no longer a battlefield. The villagers noticed the change. Where once Suleiman walked with tense shoulders and downcast eyes, now he carried himself with quiet confidence. He was still the same young man, but his spirit was calmer, his presence more commanding. Weeks later, a grand training exercise was organized, a simulation of battle where the young men were tested on skill, courage, and discipline. In the past, Suleiman would have been paralyzed by doubt, but this time he stepped forward with serenity. His opponent struck, but Suleiman flowed like the stream itself, patient, precise, unshaken. He was victorious that day, not because of his sword, but because he had finally conquered the storm within his mind. That evening, Suleiman returned to the Sheikh, who smiled knowingly. You see, my son, the greatest battle is not fought on the battlefield, but in the heart. And the greatest victory is when you surrender your fears to Allah and live with trust in His plan. Suleiman bowed his head with gratitude. For the first time in his life, he felt truly free. This story reminds us all, overthinking is a prison we build for ourselves. True peace comes not from controlling the future, but from trusting the one who already controls it. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone struggling with anxiety and doubt. Subscribe for more Islamic stories and life lessons, and remember, true strength is found not in the body, but in the heart that trusts Allah.